All right, this is the Personnel Committee meeting for the City of Green Bay on May 14th. Alders Johnson, Grant, and Galvin are present. Alder Hinkfus is en route, should be here shortly. I'll entertain a motion on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. Entertain a motion on the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. On the regular business, E1, for consideration with possible action on a request to fill the following positions and all subsequent vacancies resulting from internal transfers.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes unanimously. For consideration with possible action on the reclassification of a Public Works Construction Inspection Manager pay grade J to Construction Manager pay grade K. Staff?
So we do have the memo in the packet, and if you have questions, we have Director Grenier here. One thing that I just want to mention with this reclass is, typically we try to bring those around the budget time. And this is a position that I think for several seasons has been, performing this work as supervision, and it's just something that unfortunately didn't go through the budget this past, budget in November. So just something we strongly recommend we do approve based on the responsibilities the position has been performing for several years. So if you have any questions, I think Director Grenier.
There's no new funding required, so I move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously.
Trying to help you out, Steve.
I appreciate it.
For consideration with possible action on a request to increase the public arts coordinator position from 30 hours per week to 40 hours per week. Staff?
We do have Director Grenier waiting. Can you answer questions?
Sure.
Questions?
Sure, I thought we did this already.
No, we did not actually. We just received, so the difference in the 10 hours a week are going to be paid for by the TIF funding the public art requirement. So Carnivore just made a payment to us for their public art requirement, which will cover this additional time. We have more work than we can give Laura, our public arts coordinator, so an extra 10 hours a week will be very helpful, especially working with the TIDs and the TIFs for public arts.
You sure we did not do this already?
I don't remember.
I don't think Joe would let me take it twice.
Yeah, I remember this coming through.
We've talked about it.
I think it's been talked about.
But we just got the TIF funding now, and we have it in place, so we have it in-house, and that's what's covering the difference. It's not the budget money, it's that TIF money.
Right. Yeah, look, I mean, there's no impact on the levy, and it's funding that's, I mean, I assume the Carnivore money, is that going to be held in reserve to continue
Yes,
to
we have
pay for that
separate-
portion into the future?
We have a public arts account that we hold that money separately in,
Okay.
for public arts.
And the hope is to get more payments like that from other developers.
Yep, we have that requirement on all of our TIF agreements, so.
Yeah, my only thing with that I would say is, like, when I had originally put forward that percent for the art proposal, it was to increase, obviously, tangible, art in the community.
And mostly it has been. I think with Carnivore, it was so far out that they were just like, it'd be easier for us just to cut the check. And they always have that option of just cutting the check to
No,
public arts.
and I get
but-
that, right? But for me, though, it's that funding, instead of going towards tangible art, we're funding a position, which to me wasn't necessarily the intent. Now, I understand you need the position to get to the tangible art, but
Okay.
I want to make sure we're not robbing Peter to pay Paul.
No,
Yeah, we understand.
I don't know how to answer that. It's TIF money coming in for the purpose of public arts.
Oh,
So-
But
I see what you're saying.
I see
but-
both sides of this ball here, and I guess what I'm saying with, like what Brian's saying, I want to see the artwork. And I understand the only way to really make it work is to have a position. And I guess maybe if we had been thinking a little bit further along, how would we have funded that position back when this all started? Because I'd rather see, like Brian said, instead of them cutting us a check to pay for the position, say, we're going to spend the money on making this building look like something so that when people come driving by, that,
I
It's also
agree.
other stuff, sculptures,
Yeah.
mosaics, murals,
If
whatever.
you would like me to put this position in the budget at full time and just cover it from now until the end of the year with that public arts money, I could certainly do that. Add the extra 10 hours onto the department levy. To me, this just seemed like we didn't have to affect the levy then.
Right.
Because we have this pool.
I get it,
And-
I get it, but how much art would we get for the salary and,
Well, the difference is about $17,000 a year.
this is it?
For, it's
So we're
only
already-
10 hours.
We're already
So-
funding the 30
Right, we're already
hours.
funding the 30 through block grant
Okay.
and through our department, through the levy.
All right.
So this is only an extra 10
Okay.
hours.
All
Is
right.
it 2010? Is that the breakup right now, the current position?
No.
Or do you know what the
That
breakup
is
is?
correct. It's a
It's-
0.75, and 2/3 of it being paid by levy, and 1/3 is being paid by CDBG block
Block
grant
grant.
right now, yes.
All right.
And really, that is only then, that's technically the block grant, correct me if I'm wrong, the funding of that role is only for work that Public Arts Coordinator does in eligible areas.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Correct.
That makes more sense.
Whereas the percent for the art, because it's being, in this case, the funding from Carnivore is being kicked back, it's got fewer restrictions.
Correct.
No restrictions.
So she can work citywide.
Okay, all right. Any other questions?
Yeah, I do like this path for now. I do want us to continue that conversation, though, of how, you know, we like, I just don't know that this is a long-term sustainable plan. Maybe it is, you know.
Well, this, and I've asked for 5 years on this one, with knowing that we'll continue to raise money into the pool, but, I mean, I think it's a good source to use those TIF dollars because it supports the public art in the community, which is
Well,
what.
so I mean, and I'm just looking at this, I mean, it seems to me that the thing that we probably struggle with the most is funding to do the art.
Correct.
And especially once ARPA's gone, right? Where's the funding gonna come from to actually install art throughout our community?
Right.
And that's kinda what this funding is for.
Right, there's always that private fundraising, right, that we need to be doing for public arts. Grant writing and, right?
And I guess, sorry to jump in, because I mean, you guys are the one working on the development agreements, but I think sometimes too, it offers more leeway for the developer, you know, to choose, do they create their own public art, or can
Right.
they hand over funds? And I think it just gives more ability to negotiate those contracts. That's one thing to think about. So I think, obviously, we can bring back some options, and if we want to move forward without using the funds for this position, we can find other ways to fund it.
Everyone, okay?
What, yeah, and I'm just, and again, I do support, like, I like this path for this being non-levy supported. That I do like. I just, again, I want to make sure, though, that we're actually installing, you know, visible pieces of public art, right? That's,
Right.
because that was the objective of the program. When I submitted that, to me, the objective
Yep.
was never to fund a position,
Correct.
unless that position is being leveraged, right, to create resources
Right.
that, in theory, can do more than what the funding alone could, right?
So I believe she worked on the Legacy Hotel. That was part of the TIFs. There's public art installation at the Legacy Hotel. Carnivore was the next one which came up, and they were just like, let me write the check, because they didn't want to put the public art on their site. We have those agreements, and, you know, they're going forward, the new land, and I think we have it in all of our agreements that involve TIF for public art. So with the expectation that art will be on the site. I mean, that's the push, just so you know that we're not saying give us the money. That's not the first option, but it is an option for developers if they choose not to do that public art. I feel like council kind of gave us that direction when we were looking at that TIF money for public art as a way, if developers didn't want to do that there was another option for them to at least put money into a public art fund.
Except this item never came before council. That was RDA driven.
The TIF 1%?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, never went in front of council.
Okay.
Okay. You had meant, okay, the recommendation is commit for 5 years. I see that now.
Yeah.
Sorry, okay.
Which would still leave a balance in that account. I think it was 150, and this looks like it would be, we're looking at maybe 88,000 for the 5 years, so there still would be money in that account. That would go towards then public art and throughout the city, not specifically to that site. So when we look at, you know, there was a proposal for doing something at the fort, the original fort. I know Alderman Weary, and Alder Story, like we're working on
There's
that.
supposed to be a
That's a
little park
pool of
or
money
something.
then that we could work with the Public Arts Commission to do some type of an installation there, because, right, that might be some money.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I know,
Anything
it's
else I
just,
can say?
no, there's nothing else you can say. I'm just contemplating things in my mind. I think, like, I'm comfortable with this today, knowing that we can always like unwind it and with a different motion down the road. And I think maybe there's a place for us to have a conversation around that.
Okay.
But like I said, I think I'm comfortable with this for now. It doesn't impact the levy. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Any opposed? It passes unanimously. On the last item, for consideration with possible action on the request to reclassify the vacant chief building official position to a new architect, commercial building inspector position, and of approval to fill the new position. Staff.
Oh, I should have just stayed up
Director Grenier, I
there.
can help with this one.
So we had the chief building official position that was vacated, and we moved to an E-plans concept, so we outsource our plan review now to E-plans, and it's been working very well. They've been turning things around really fast, which has been great, I think, for customer service. So looking at that position in the department, we were looking at how can we fill this. We don't need that plan review anymore, but what we were looking at was we need commercial building inspection with one commercial building inspector and look at what's happening right all around us. But we also would like to actually find someone if they have architectural skills. You know, we hire out for architects when we do all of our park buildings, for example. We have to architect them out. When we have designs that come in for our development projects, it would be nice to have an architect that has that skills in-house to be able to review those plans and make comments and improvements on them. So the goal would be to try to fill this position with like a combined architect, commercial building inspector person. But that being said, I think that would be a very difficult position to find. I know they're out there and they exist, but I guess my fallback would be is if we can't find that architectural element in this position, I would just like to fill a commercial building inspector at that level. Because we really need that as well.
Is this a price range that a licensed architect would apply to?
I believe this was studied by what is the name of it?
Yeah, we sent out to our consultant, Carlson Detman, and they did review it, and I think one of the architects that is in a municipal, or it's in Madison, and it's a very similar pay grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't know what architects go for. That's what I was asking.
Right, I guess it depends where you're working, right?
Makes sense to me. Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Next meeting is June 4th. I do have a question on that. I thought I had from the website that May 28th was our next personnel and finance.
That's the one I inquired about.
And I
You
wasn't
probably
paying
do, I
attention.
think we just have to change it on the website.
To which, the 4th?
June 4th, yep.
All right.
Because the council meeting's on June 11th, so
Okay.
we'll meet the week before.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right.